Okay.
Oh, well, apparently that did not give us a countdown option there at all. But hey, that's all right. We're quick on our feet. It don't matter. We're going to roll with it anyway. I clicked go live. I thought it would give me a countdown option, and it did not, folks. But hey, that's all right. It's the Sports Nuts. We are coming at you live right now here in Simpsonville, South Carolina. I got my man Shane here with me this evening. Listen, we just wanted to drop you guys some quick content. We were supposed to have an episode tonight. Unfortunately, Brandon, he's a little under the weather. He's got strep. He had a little bit of issues. He obviously had the heart attack, so he had a little BP issues since he was sick. So shout out to Brandon. Listen, I'm going to try to keep this chair warm while he's away. I don't know if I can hold it down like he does. Aspirations, inspirations. Do the best I can with what I got. But here, I got my boy Shane to help me out this evening. And shout out to Brandon. Listen, we are the Sports Nuts. Don't forget to follow us, like us, subscribe. We want to hear what you guys have to say. And so the first thing I got to say this evening, though, man, it's a glorious Saturday, is it not, Shane?
Oh man, I'm enjoying every bit of it. Nice and cool weather down here. Was a perfect day for a race around here. We got another perfect day scheduled for tomorrow, so it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention is, man, yeah, it was a beautiful day. There's nothing more special to me than waking up on a Saturday morning, playing some of my old 90s and 2000s hip hop songs, taking a shower, getting ready, getting a little cleaned up. Granted, it takes a lot. But yeah, we got everything ready. We took the boys down to the Columbia Riverbank Zoo today, man. We had a blast. We saw lions, tigers, bears. The boys loved it, man. We had a great time. We got to go see some of our good close family. Which actually shout out anybody that's listening now: Madcraft, Trey Davis, Kara, Brandon, Nick,
Uh,
any of you guys that are listening, man, y'all are all family. We had a great day today at the zoo, beautiful weather, and man, it's just a wonderful time.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yep,
Like I said, hey, shout out, Jody, Josh. I know y'all probably listen to Julian. Hey, much love from up in the mountains. I know he's all about hearing what we have to say for some reason.
right. Hey, well, listen. Also, let's start it out. It's also a glorious weekend because it's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Obviously, my wife Kara, Cassie, Greg. I don't know if your wife's name or ex-wife's name, but Happy Mother's Day to her. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, Linda, my mother-in-law. Everybody out there. My mom, obviously. Just happy Mother's Day. And hey, me and Shane, we're gonna rock this thing out. We got some NASCAR talk coming at you. Got a little Gamecock stuff. And hey, it's all good news. It's all good news. We're not gonna talk about anybody getting fired. We're not gonna talk about anybody getting fired today. Maybe once, just
Maybe,
maybe once. But
maybe,
it'll only be
maybe.
to, hey, it'll only be to toot my own horn. All right, that'll be the only time. All right, so hey, are we ready to get this thing rolling? Did we get all our intros in? Again, guys, we want to hear what you got to say. I see Brandon commenting already. Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my! Yeah. All right. So listen.
All the sports teams.
Right. Yeah. Hey. So listen. We're gonna kick it off with Gamecocks good news this evening. Asia Wilson. Man, I'm telling you what. We were just mentioning it the other day about how it'd be a wise investment to get more into women's sports. And lo and behold, we got Angel Reese. She got her whole brand with Reebok. Everybody's starting to get shoes now as women, and another shoe just dropped. Asia Wilson. Shank, what were the details we had mentioned about that deal?
So far from what I've read and what I've found is we're talking 10 years, $43 million for a shoe deal. That her shoe will debut 2025, but we're talking 10 years, $43 million for a female athlete, and that's not even the best part. Up to $60,000 in royalties every year. I mean,
It's
we're talking about the longest shoe deal, not just the only shoe deal that we've heard of lately in women's sports, but the longest shoe deal that we've heard of in women's sports.
Right. Well, and what was Caitlin Clark's deal? It was only.
I
Oh
I,
gosh,
I
here.
can't I
I
can't
might can do
remember.
this math on the fly. I'm getting new at this, at doing quick research. Now I've got a little
Uh,
computer here next to me. I might can find it out real quick.
well,
Um.
you might have got smarter than your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I might can figure it out real quick. I doubt it, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, her deal. I mean, they're starting to balloon though, and like I said, there's everybody's starting to take that interest in women's sports, and it's very interesting. I'm glad another Gamecock got into it. Hopefully, a deal comes along for Aaliyah Boston soon. Obviously, she's a pretty big deal up there playing with Caitlin Clark, so hopefully that'll be more good news for the Gamecocks coming along soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and hopefully it's good news for women's sports as a whole because I can tell you I was watching the Florida Missouri game earlier. Now women's college softball is on a tear right now.
Right. Hey, well, and
It's
that's more good news for my women's Gamecock softball. Also, they're currently winning down in the SEC tournament, which we got a
yes.
little baseball thing coming up soon. And but yeah, I mean, even the SEC or the SC women softball team is performing. So that's another tidbit of good news for the women here on this glorious Mother's Day weekend. So
Yes,
here's
sir.
one. We're gonna get into a little Gamecock football real quick here, Shane, if we could. Lenore Sellers, excuse me. Lenore Sellers, actually, in fact, this week, Shane Beamer wasn't ready to do it a few weeks ago after the spring game. But here we are. He did, in fact, named Lenore Sellers QB1 for the Gamecocks. And, listen, there's a lot of hype around him, there's a lot of potential around him. He obviously will need an offensive line to help and give him a little bit of time, or at least give him, scrambling ability. They did just pick up two new receivers with some length and size in the portal, and his running back room has improved. But I struggle to find more than 5 to 6 wins on the schedule. I mean, the offense might be dynamic, but the conference, the schedule is difficult. So I think he'll have a good season. I look forward to watching him play. Absolutely. So yeah, just another good news thing here. What do you say?
Well, it's that sort of athlete you cannot keep him off the field. For first and foremost, it doesn't matter with that athlete. You're going to find a spot for him to play. A majority of your downs, it doesn't matter what spot you put him in. That with that caliber of athlete, you've got to put him in the game. It does not matter. Um, him becoming QB1 that solidifies a lot of things for the Gamecocks and things moving forward. Now, like you said, the O line has always been questionable. Spencer Rattler is probably going to be in one of the best situations being a backup QB, and just because he did not have a line last year to be able to go through he's gone through this stuff and is going to be more than capable and a career backup, if not a starter on some of the lesser teams because of where he came from in South Carolina and in their offensive line play. They will not have a great quarterback until their offensive line play is turned around and tenfold better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. And with you talking about, Sellers coming from South Carolina and everything, what I will say is, I mean, he was actually committed to Syracuse, and he was a last minute flip by Beamer. And so it's very interesting that Beamer was able to land a dynamic quarterback like that at a time where he certainly may need it this year. And so, yeah, I mean, hopefully it works out for him. Hopefully it plays out. I look forward to watching him this year. And then here I did actually. I'm going to give one more bit of good news. I was going to look at it as bad news, but I said I wasn't going to mention anybody getting fired. But I will say this. I believe if anybody had watched any of our previous episodes, they might have heard my opinions on Mark Kingston and how I thought that maybe the Gamecocks should move away from him. And guess what happened? The Gamecocks got swept this weekend by Georgia, who, granted, they've won 8 in a row. They were actually ranked lower than South Carolina for whatever reason. But yeah, now I'm starting to see a lot more people calling for Mark Kingston's job now that this has happened. And I was like, I kind of told y'all this a few weeks ago. So guess what? That's my first bit of good news. It's the first time I can look back and say JD said something and he was right. So hopefully we have more of those times to come. Shane, can you toot my horn, or did I toot it hard enough?
I think you might have tooted it a little bit too hard at that point. And the only reason why I say that is because it is in the middle of SEC play. It's in the middle of conference play for every team out there.
No, it's the end. I told you they had to end 7-2, and they're
well,
two
the
and five
end,
or 2-4.
well, the end. But then the hear you say that I don't hear you say that Wake Forest is doomed going into the College World Series ranks and the regionals and super
Oh
regionals.
no, because I don't talk about Wake Forest. They're above our Charlotte region.
Yeah, well, Wake Forest just I don't know what they did today, but they were up two out of three on Clemson, and
Yeah,
Clemson's
right.
number
Yeah,
two.
hey, that's the
Clemson's
thing that
number two
everybody's
ranked
afraid
team
of
in
right
the
now.
nation. Clemson's the number two ranked team in the nation. It all circles back, like you said, what we talked about before. It's all about atmosphere, and it's just like any other playoff sport at that time. If you get hot, you're hot. It doesn't matter if you were the 8 seed or if you're the 1 seed. If you get hot at the right time during the playoffs, you will eventually make noise and be one of the top tier teams. That I'm not calling for Kingston's job. I'm not gonna do that yet.
Oh no,
I
yeah, I
mean,
didn't call for it today.
Georgia is a great baseball team right now, and one of the top four in the nation. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but I'm not going to say a series sweep on a weekend when you're facing the one of the top four teams in the nation is going to call for your job.
Right.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I hear that. And here's one shout out to Brandon. And one thing that he's actually said on here, and one thing I've seen people commenting was that nobody fears going in and playing South Carolina anymore. I mean, we used to have a home field advantage, and for Georgia to come in and sweep us when, like I said, this is the time that we were supposed to be getting hot, and we're not. And so
Yeah.
that it's so that's one point of it. But Brandon said nobody's afraid to come play down there anymore. I mean, for whatever reason it may be. And then the one thing I also say about the Gamecocks, and I'm gonna lead it to tie into our next conversation here, is after I'm a Gamecock, diehard Gamecock, and so after 7 years of Mark Kingston, though, it is the only thing they're consistent at is being inconsistent, in my opinion, for all around, whether it be hitting or pitching or whatever. They always have these lulls. And so that leads me into the next one here. We're going to go into the Braves, but I'll pause first. Hey, guys, give us a second. Anybody got anything to say about any of our Gamecock talk? Shane, don't forget, let's get your handle in here real quick. Anybody can Snapchat you or holler at you
Yep.
on Facebook, whatever.
Yep.
Let's get a minute in for that.
Uh, as always, you can find me on Facebook, Shane Owen. I'm the red bearded guy on the south side, I guess you could say, considering everybody here on Sports Nuts. If you hit me up, Snapchat, Shane O'Mac, 1240. I'm more than willing to discuss, debate anything that you guys may have, especially when it comes to sports. I might know just a little bit, just a little bit on some sports. So, more than welcome. Hit me up anytime, please.
Oh yeah, hey everybody. Sorry, I was just testing out my little chat thing here, and it just popped up like 4 times when I said one thing. So yeah, I'll have to adjust that, man. Hey, I'm still learning here on the fly, everybody. So it's great though to be here with you. Happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers. I don't know if anybody's tuned in recently. I'm JD. Brandon, he's a little bit sick and under the weather. Greg is busy as always with his kids and being the wonderful father he is. So happy early Father's Day to Greg as well. So we talked a little Braves there. Let's they're getting into, hey, we were just talking about them a couple weeks ago being inconsistent and people not performing, and then lo and behold, here we are. Max Fried and the bullpen were 1 out away. It would have been the first combined no hitter for the Braves since 1991, according to Mr. Brandon Keeler. Shane, how'd you feel about the Braves game this evening?
Freed went deep. I'm happy with that. He does not have the Christmas on his sliders that he had the start of the season, much less in peak form that he should be. Um, the Braves, they are probably one of the most inconsistent teams when you talk about streaks and offensively that you can come across right now. But somehow, miraculously, they are still one of the top teams in baseball. How does that even happen with your top four offensive weapons slumping at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean it's crazy. I think somebody even mentioned the other day. I got a little kick out of this. Somebody said Matt Olson looks like a taller, skinnier Dan Ugla. You remember when he was like batting, like, dude, what was it? He was batting like 200 though, but he had like
Uh,
26. Like,
uh,
it was either out of the park or a strikeout.
uh,
And Olson though, he's not
that
hitting that many home runs right now though, so I mean, he's even a little worse.
Dan Ugla is the epitome of the Mendoza line that there ever has been.
Yeah,
I mean,
there was a guy that
I
I
hate to
played
say
baseball with, one of my really good friends. I saw him break a metal bat one time, and he was that same dude, man. I'm telling you, he was either gonna crank the ball, 350 or 400, or it was just like
just
swing and miss. But dude, I saw he swung the bat farther one time than he hit the ball. Like no, I've sliced the ball farther back than where I was standing once, but I don't know if I ever threw a baseball bat farther than I hit a ball.
but I've never accomplished that feat, but I know some people that have.
Oh man, it's nuts. That is crazy to me. Hey, again, we are the sports nuts, man. We're having a great conversation here. Listen, we're gonna get close to wrapping it up, but before we do so, my brother-in-law, Shane Owen, you're gonna bring us. Where are you gonna bring? You're gonna bring us to a glorious Darlington Mother's Day race. You're gonna tell us what the NASCAR atmosphere is like, my man. Can give
Man,
me your experience. What's it gonna be like tomorrow? What you got going on down there, bro?
man, tomorrow is going to be crazy to start with, but it starts here on Thursday. Um, come about 4 o'clock in the evening around here on Thursday, you see the haulers start coming in. We're only about 25 minutes away from Darlington, so we get to see it. We're right here in the middle. We've got a bunch of old highways, not any interstates. Now, come on, we're not that big around here in Straw. I can tell you that much. JD's been here before. I mean, 5,000 people. That's about our town size. But the haulers start coming on Thursday. They do a hauler parade Thursday afternoon there in Darlington. We've got a truck race, a Saturday Bush Series. Well, old Bush Series, now Xfinity Series. Um, they come in and race. Lucky enough in the industry that I work in, uh, to be gifted plenty of opportunity to go see some of these events and everything else like that. So we're going to go tomorrow. We've got plenty of chicken wings, sausage dogs, rope sausage, burgers, everything. We're going to go tailgate, have a good time, and go watch these cars go around this track at about 170 mile an hour on average. Uh, and see what they do over 400 miles and enjoy the festivities and everything around it, celebrate mothers everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's one of the great things about NASCAR. I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, we have been there before. Um, Kara and I, we came there and stayed, I don't know, 3 times with y'all. I know Julian, I think, who is watching now. I mean, Josh Davis, Chad, any of those guys. I know we've all been there and been at the racetrack there before. What's crazy though is it's such a family atmosphere. I mean, even from the drivers themselves. I mean, they've got their kids there, their wives, babysitters, but literally just like it's all family. You can literally just go up. We used to go to the infield at Charlotte. Man, we before they did the Roval, the infield at Charlotte, man, they had a tent city in between 1 and 2 over there. And man, you could literally just walk up to anybody's tailgate and be like, man, I'm hungry. Oh shoot, we got plenty of food. What you need?
Yeah,
Like it literally, if you could get into the infield, it was just like the most family atmosphere ever. And that's why people are starting to get more into NASCAR. Hopefully it starts to come back a little bit. I know they've improved
it
the
is
mile and a half
coming back.
racing.
It's coming back slowly but surely. And what's got me is, I enjoy, I hang around with a lot of different folk, as we call it out here in the country. I hang around with a lot of different ones. Have a good time. Never heard about NASCAR before. Hey, you want to go to a race? Oh yeah, let's go. So take them to a race. They fall in love with it. I mean, it's one of those things that if you've ever been to a live event, and if you ever want to have the opportunity, hit us up. Hit us up. Let us know. We get these opportunities. We want to share with you guys out there. Just every single bit of it, every single discussion that we have, we want to share with you guys out there in the world as sports nuts together. We want to have a good time and hang out and do things together. But I can tell you, when you go to a racetrack and you smell just the fried chicken, hot dogs, hamburgers, and the burnt rubber combined, it's one of those things that you'll never forget in your life, and it's one of the experiences that you will never forget that you ever had in your life.
Absolutely. Hey, yeah, some of the best things I've ever attended were a NASCAR race, without question. And so we'll get ready to tie it up with this. Shane, going into tomorrow, who do you think is going to be the best race car driver? Who do you think leads the most laps? Who do you think wins at the end of the day?
Man, tomorrow's race is all about fuel strategy plus tire strategy plus plus how good your car is to start with. Uh, I can tell you, there's a couple of Toyotas that look real good. There's a couple of Hendrick cars that look good. There's a couple of Haas cars that look good. Tomorrow is looking like one of those races. Like, it put everything aside on how mundane this season has been between the first two stages of any NASCAR event that you've watched, and how exciting the last stage is. I feel like this is going to be the first race of this NASCAR season that includes excitement from the very first lap to the end of the race. And I'm not going to say the very last lap, because in NASCAR we have overtime. As long as the leader does not take the white flag before somebody wrecks or the yellow flag is displayed, we'll line them up, do it again.
Oh yeah, hey, I love the overtime rule. I used to, dude, ending a race under caution is absolutely criminal. And
Oh
this
man.
one topic I got coming up for everybody soon too will be, there was actually a high school baseball team here, South Carolina, Gilbert High School. Shame on the South Carolina High School League.
Oh
They
boy.
ended this game 5-3 because of weather and travel restrictions. But it was a 2-run game. Figure it out, make it work. I don't care if you got to change the schedule, but you can't eliminate a baseball team in the
D- d-
playoffs. Like you got to play the game. Talking about
del-
playoffs,
d- d- delay
playoffs.
it.
You
Delay
have to
it.
play the game. But anyways, that'll be another subject, guys. Hey, listen, we're gonna get out of here on this. I'll give you my NASCAR thoughts real quick. Excuse me. I think it'll be a Toyota probably that wins the race. They've proven to have the overall handling and horsepower. Chevrolet obviously will be up there. Kyle Larson, he'll be slinging it around the wall. It'll be a great race. Everybody, we've had a great weekend. We've had a great show. We've told you about Braves, NASCAR, Gamecocks. Brandon, man, Greg, for everybody at the Sports Nuts here, make sure to like, share, follow at the Sports Nuts. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You like us, subscribe to us, share us, or don't, whatever. We'll do what we can either way. But peace,
Yeah.
love, and Shane, my man. Let's get out of here.
Yep, yep. We're fixing to get out of here. Just want to let you guys know if you are coming to Darlington to the race, I will be there tomorrow. We plan on getting out there about 9:30. We've got plenty of chicken wings, sausage, like anything that you can want. We're gonna have it out there. I got a couple things of boiled peanuts going on out here for all of our sports nuts fans, of course. Um, but please holler at me. Hit me up on my social. Like I said, we'll be out there doing our thing tomorrow from about 9:30 up until race time. Then we're going to be in there pulling the Chevys through. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope everybody has a good one. Please hit us up anytime. The sports nuts, the mixed nuts, all of our handles running down across the screen. Uh, Shane Owen, uh, Shane O'Mac on Snapchat. Hey, gotta tell you, peace, love, and bacon grease.
Hey, that's right. Very well said. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. My wife, Kara, my mother in law, everybody, Julian, anybody that's listening, Madcraft, Trey Davis, any of you guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll catch you soon. We got another episode. Brandon, Greg will be back. Again, for the Sports Nuts, WY_JD on Twitter. Y'all have a good night.